What we have here is evidence that the topology of the world is not the topology that we ordinarily see. Separated by a certain distance. We walk across a room and we think, well, we've left the far wall of the room behind us and so forth. But there's an attempt to say, well, maybe things that from our macroscopic point of view appear to be widely separated in space, like New York and Chicago, just to take two macroscopic examples, from a microscopic point of view might actually be... What we have here is evidence that the topology of the world is not the topology that we ordinarily see.
First of all, Borgar. Second of all, contrary to popular belief, Pablo is not my actual government name. My government name is... Yes, you heard right. That's my government name. I name the government. Hello there, and welcome back. My name is... aka Modus. As always, I hope you've had an amazing week, and today is October 24th, which means it's time for another Friday show. Borgar is real. Snare? No, it's not snare. It's... And you pronounce it like that. Not snare, not snare, not snare. No. That's how you say it. It's this, or you're wrong. Or you're straight up wrong. That's it. That's how it works. You named the government. Yes, I named the entirety of the government. Did you just write that as a snare weight formula on your birth certificate? Yes, exactly. You draw the weight form, and then below it you add the metadata for snare _03.wave from Modus Hypernova Samplepack. Snare. Hi, Adri. What's up? That was a snare. A snare sound. No, that's not a snare. That's a...
evidence that topology of the world...
So your name is... No, it's not snare. It's aka Modus. A waveform of a snare would actually be such a sick signature. Honestly, I'm tempted. My my ID renovation is coming up soon. I'm in the next the next couple weeks, actually, I'm gonna have to go to the police department and have my ID renovated, and I have the chance to renovate my signature as well, and I may just the fuck out of that shit. Just pulling my leg at this point. No, I'm telling you the truth. I have nothing but truth to tell you, and my name is AK Modus. Once I get a new ID card sometime, I'm changing my signature to the purple Lamborghini Yoim. I'm gonna change my surname to get hyper myself back out now and make a great scientific discovery to bring more traffic to you. Thank you, Hexateron, really putting the service into public service. Man, how was your week? Mine was long. Very long week. For reasons I won't get into. But just know that it's over. And hopefully I can start getting back into more steady flow of work. Schoolwork was hard. Yeah, I can imagine your struggle trying to write down on your paper. My week was depressing. Don't say that. Don't say that. Did you come to me with those words? You're going to change your attitude right now. I demand it. And if Danny comes over to the stream, she will demand it too. If you think schoolwork, 8th grade is harsh, and you ain't seen the half of it, my brother. This whole month has been super busy for me. I can imagine. I know part of that busy. Danny can respectfully... No, she won't. She has so much to say, especially about you. Try being an undergraduate. Man. Stop pulling my leg. I'm not pulling anyone's leg. I physically can't. You're not in my room. I can pull my own leg, you know, but that's, you know, and yes, I'm wearing my pajama shorts, cause who cares? It's like news anchors when they wear like suits up top, and then for pants they wear like joggers or some shit. You know, cause like they only have to show up on camera from like well dressed from the waist up, you know. Don't pretend like you ain't ever seen my thighs. I can be in your room though if you want. Invent time travel. Or space travel rather. Invent the technology as seen in the game Portal. And we shall talk. I'm tracking your IP address. Oh no! Whatever I will do. Whatever will I do? Paul, English, please. I meant the pulling my leg part of are we really fighting over over that? Are we really fighting over ooh, but I said it metaphorically, like I know. Imagine being 13 years old, music smart, and you have a big pile of schoolwork. As someone who has been 13, I will tell you, do your schoolwork. Okay? You think right now that it is that's below you, that like you are above that. Oh no. And contrary to what some people might think, I've been 13 in the past. I wasn't born 24. You know? So I've been there and I thought the same thing you have thought. School is shit. It's useless. I'm already learning music. Like just this is not gonna be, and then this thing comes up in your life that requires that exact knowledge, and you were like, damn, was good. I learned this shit. Paul, come on, stop messing with Cynthia's voodoo puppet. It's always easier to imagine being older, but imagining being younger is hard as fuck because you have to account for how stupid you were back then. Very, extremely to big faults. to very big faults. To very big faults. I was one of the stupidest people on planet fucking Earth. I used to mix on integrated like monitor speakers, on the speakers that came with the monitors, and I thought that sounded good. But I just, yeah. I thought I'd be able to play Sonic Generations on an integrated Intel like iGPU from 2009 with 256 megabytes of VRAM. Imagine how that turned out. When I saw like a completely empty error message, it was an error window and it said nothing. It was just an empty error pop-up. It was just, well, how do I troubleshoot that one? Go ahead and try to troubleshoot that one. Imagine knowing how to use every single part of FL Studio and not having a license. You are naughty! Oh man. Stop pulling my electrons. Your electrons? Damn. I didn't know. We were counting our electrons. Jesus Christ. Chat, what happens when your electrons don't electron anymore? Do you just unelectron yourself? Is that a new term for... That would be a much cooler way of, say, unaliving. Unaliving is just fucking lame. Unelectron yourself is actually... actually sounds kind of based. Okay, so... I may have been really stupid most of the time, but there were some times during my high school years where I was unfathomably based without even knowing it. Do you want to know that story? It's a pretty personal one, but it's been long enough that I don't really mind. I literally know how to use most of the plugins in FL, but don't have access to them. Well, save up, my brother. You got a Mac, you clearly can afford it. It's like that scene in John Wick 4. I know how to use everything in FL except how to legally activate it. I will turn your neutrons into protons. The ultimate threat. So what do you say, guys? Modus story time? Modus 13-year-old modus based story time? Or Gothic phone? Just saying. Yes? Yes to which of them? To both? To one? Kinda? How do you kinda that? How do you, like, do you tell like half the story or? And then here's the most interesting part, and then that's where you stop. Not even nuclear fusion, but nuclear substitution. Fuck Garlic phone. Well, well, couldn't have said it clearer. Is string theory prepared for this yet? I don't know. Story time first. Okay, so first year of high school, I was around 12 to 13. Okay, and in the high school I was at. Okay, this is about. Okay. Yeah, no, we're locking in. We are telling this. We are telling this story. It is pretty good. In the high school that I was at, there were like 2 floors, right? So there was the main floor, the upper floor, and then there was a basement. The basement had like a couple rooms only, right? So it had a small hall and then a couple rooms for like the specialty classes. So there were like chemistry labs there in the basement and like all that, okay? But the hall of the basement was where couples would go smooch, basically. Okay? because it's high school. It's, you know? And if a girl ever showed any amount of interest in you, she would ask you to come down to the basement. So imagine my pure shock, my pure freezing, when one of them asked me to come down to the basement. Yes, this is a true story. But you won't believe the ending. We're very close. Okay? So, usually, in high school, I had a couple friends, and I would spend the school break, okay? So it was like 30 minutes. We'd spend the 30 minutes of break, just like eating, like having lunch at the cafeteria, at the high school cafeteria. So that's where I spent like 99% of my breaks, right? And then this girl comes over and asks me, Paulie K. Modus, to come down to the basement. And my response will shock you. My response was, sorry, I have to spend lunchtime with my colleagues, with my friends. If that isn't the most unfathomably based statement, man, that was so based. Rejecting the girls for the bros. Based. She basically proposed to you. I think that might have been a little far-fetched, but I don't know. Just, dude, we were like 12. That's no time to consider that shit. That's not a reasonable age. Like your brain's not developed at that age. Bros before the H word. I basically said that pretty much with the most deadpan ass face in the world. And she just walked away. And that's how you treat your bros. Ultimate fealty. Based. A 12, that's the equivalent of proposal. Too young. Good call. Thank you. I do not regret. There hasn't been a single second where I have regretted my choices. Maybe I'd have a different response now. But no, that was the right move at that time. Sorry, I have to take my colleagues to the quantum mechanics symposium. Yeah, no, we were... I remember that day. So after that happened, I was at the cafeteria with the bros, and I remember pulling out a €2 coin. So you guys know what a €1 coin looks like, right? €1 coin. Moneda de €1. In Spanish, okay? Because I can show you the Spanish one. Or if I can find it, anyway. Okay, this'll do. This is a €1 coin from 2019, okay? This is when, this is already after this is already with our current king, Philip VI, right? Spain 2019. This is the back face, and this is the €1 coin. Well, there are €2 coins, and they have the exact reverse colors. The inside is now the outside, so it has a silvery outside, and then the gold on the outside is in the center now. That's a €2 coin. One of my bros had never seen a €2 coin before, and when I showed it to him, he was fucking flabbergasted. He was he actually froze. I was like, dude, it's just a coin. And he just he marveled at it like it was the second coming of Jesus Christ. It was like, bro, I've never seen a €2 coin before. And both of those things happened at the same day. It was an eventful day. Right after that happened, she hooked up with the chemistry teacher probably. Dodged a bullet, clearly. Proceeds to ask the Eastern European the question. Please, no spam, Steelix. Wear €1.50 coin. True. They gotta invent that shit. Do you guys have $1.50 bills? No, you don't, right? But here we do have a scam here. It's not a bad scam, okay? It's the funny kind of scam. Same as we have coins, we have notes. Okay, we have bills. Okay. And this is the highest bill that we have in Europe, which is the €500 bill. Okay, billete de 500. These are getting increasingly rare. These, and especially the €200 ones. These are the rarest, and the 500 are growing rarer by the day. Because you can no longer pay with these two highest bills in most places. In supermarkets, you can no longer pay with 200. Like, they will no longer take 200 and 500 euro bills. The max they will take is 100, which is the green one, right? I don't know why, actually. Maybe it's because these are the most used for counterfeiting, maybe. And that's why they don't accept it. But still, I don't know what the reasoning behind that is. It's just, this is the highest amount bill we have, okay? I think I've only seen them once in my life. The only time that I saw 500 euro bills, I saw, like, how many? So, my dad showed them to me because he wanted to show me, so he was going to buy a new car for the family, like way back in the day. This is like 15 years ago. 2009? 16 years ago. In 2009, my dad comes up to me and he wants to show me the power of saving up. Hard work paying off and saving up. And so he just calls me into the kitchen and and then he shows me a 500 euro bill. And he goes up to me and he asks, "Do you know what this is?" Like, very, very ominous. Very ominous. And I'm just like, yeah. And then he goes up and he pulls out another one. And another one. And another one. And another one. 9,500 euros worth of 500 euro bills. And he tells me, "This is what we're buying the new car with." I go, "Oh." Cool. Cool TM. Cool trademark. GG's. And so, yeah, that was the only time I think I've ever seen a real 500 euro bill was I saw like a whole stack of them. Because that was the story, right? But that's not what I wanted to tell today. What I wanted to tell is, so you know how there are certain like promo things that there are people who like go out and like spread pamphlets around, right? They put pamphlets on like the car windows and stuff like that. And there used to be this, I think it was a buy gold company, right? Here in Spain, it's called Compro Oro, right? So it's like gold buying, like gold trading and stuff like that, right? They always look like this, Compro Oro, right? And back then, they had this promo that they spread pamphlets on the streets around. That was this. Let me see if it shows up. It doesn't show up. God damn it. But they were spreading like plastic 505 euro bills. And it was literally just the 500 euro bill, but with a 5 instead of the second 0. Let me see if I can find it, because it's just, man. Ah, this is gonna be so hard to find. This is gonna be so hard to find. This is gonna be so hard. Ah. I don't think I'll be able to find it, but it was just like a plastic fake version of a 505 euro bill. I don't believe I have. Why is Jesse Faden from Control in there? So yeah, I don't believe I have any of those like laying around. So just imagine this, okay? So imagine the 500 euro bill, and you Control C, Control V, this 5 onto here, and it just says 505. And then here, they have to make it plastic because it can't be the same. It cannot be the same material as the bill by law, because it would be like counterfeiting. So it has to be a different material, a different dimension. So it cannot be the exact same size as a 500 euro bill, and then they have to put some things on top here. So here they had like like the banner that says buying gold, like that says compro oro, right? And then in the back they had like the promo things, like some text for the promo, and it was the most hilarious shit. Dude, I have to find this. I have to find this. I have to find this. Why is Mr. Beast in there? Mr. Beast ain't getting the 505 euro bill. VTuber spotted. Yeah, there's a VTuber video right next to Naughty Step. He's one of us. Yeah. Sure. Dude, I gotta find this shit. Surely on Twitter. Surely on Twitter. Come on. It has to be. Twitter has to have it at some point. Come on. Ah. I have no idea, like, how to look for it further. I just I'm scrolling down it, but I don't know. Maybe if I look for compro oro or something. Hey, here's a good one. Here's a good one. For context, there are no 30 euro bills. There are no 30 euro bills. That does not exist. But that's a good one. That's a pretty good one. But I'm looking for the legendary 505 euro bill. Oh, nice. There's a 0 euro bill, apparently. Nice. Free paper real estate. Oh my god. Nah, I can't find it. I don't even know how to start looking, so... Also, restart the story. I just got here. Okay. So you know about the... okay. Fast version of the story. Okay? You know, here in Europe, the highest bill we have is 500 euros. Okay? There used to be these ads for like buying gold companies. So you know these places that will buy gold from you. Here they're called like this. They're called compro oro, right? And they look like this. It's like places where you just come in and you sell gold to them. These used to have an ad back in the day. They had a promo where they had people on the streets like spreading pamphlets around, and like putting the pamphlets on like car windows, and like you would even find them like on the floor. And they were this like fake plastic 505 euro bill that had a compro oro ad on top of the bill. So you would think, when you saw it on the floor, you would think it was a 500 euro bill because it had the same color and it had 500 on it. But then you took a closer look at it and you were like, oh, 505 compro oro. Well, so much for that. You thought you were gonna be like the next billionaire in here. So yeah. I heard a VTuber appear on screen for 0.1 seconds. Obviously, I had to join immediately. Thanks, One Online. Consider renewing your membership, by the way. Genius marketing. Yeah, so like fake plastic ass 505 euro bills with a buying gold ad stuck on top. And as I was saying, apparently they, in order to comply with legislation and not be interpreted as actual counterfeit money, they had to make it a slightly different like size, so it could not be the exact same dimensions as the 500 euro bill, and it had to be a different material, and it had to not have the like same watermarks that they have on the bill, because that would obviously, be counterfeiting, right? I saw a charger that had 67 max wattage. Rookie numbers. You wanna see the power brick that I have for this thing? Hey, actually, I've got a spare one right here. I can just show you. So this is... Say hello to my other Lenovo Legion. You got some word for us, Mr. Legion 5 2021? Thank you for your amazing insights. Now, this thing uses 300 watts, okay? This needs a 300 watt power brick. And the power brick... Oh my god, just... This is the power brick. It's bigger than my hand. And this is 300. And then I have another one that's exactly the same size, but it's 330 watts, which is the one that's powering my current laptop at the moment. So, big. Humongous. What do you mean? Among Us? Go in there. We have something similar in America, except people would tip with a $100 bill and would have a Bible quote on the back. That's delightfully American. That's so delightfully, so delightfully Republican. Laptop more like portable tower. Actual. On God. I need to carry the power brick for this thing wherever I take it. I cannot use this thing as a laptop. Because as soon as I turn it on, it's pretty much already telling me low battery. This thing will last like 30 minutes with a dedicated GPU on. So if the RTX 4090 is turned on battery, this thing is dying in less than 30 minutes. And by the way, it's the largest possible battery that'll still be allowed by the airports, that you can still carry with you on the plane. So the limit for any battery to be able to carry it with you on a plane is 99.9 watt hours. This laptop has, you guessed it, a 99.9 watt hour battery. So it's the largest possible battery it can have, before it's before I literally cannot take it anywhere with me, or like to any other country, right? And still lasts under 30 minutes because that's how powerful this thing is. Makes me wonder if the power brick is the GPU, because I can't imagine they would need a PSU this big. Dude, the GPU alone uses 175 watts. On a 16-inch chassis for the laptop that's like this thick. 175 watts. How do you cool that shit? Answer, you don't. What if you have dual cells? Nope, still can't reach 100 watt-hours aggregate. So like in total, you can't have over 99.9 watt-hours. Because it won't be allowed on a plane. So yeah, cool stuff. Be careful being on Twitter. You might see some random nudity. Yeah, I figured. I was lucky there. I got lucky there. Nowadays, Grok is the only functioning search engine. Pfft, not even that, dude. Grok, you might think like Grok is like the slightly more accurate of the AIs out there, but you'd be sorely mistaken. Grok is just like ChatGPT. It is confidently wrong a lot of the time. I saw Grok spreading misinformation on the No Kings protests, which, by the way, also happened here. There was one No Kings protest here in Madrid. But I think it was the Boston one. The Boston protest. Grok was saying that the images from the protests were taken out of context because it was a protest from 2017 or something like that, which was not true. Right? Yep. Or if you take one of the cells out and tell TSA the other cell is your sister's or something. What the... Why are we threading the needle so hard right now? It's just... Are we doing AI run again? I'm all for it. Fuck AI. Fuck the fuck the tech billionaires who are using AI against us. Fuck everything. The best normal non-AI search engine I've found is still Yandex, though. I think Putin really cares about open access to information. Yeah, of all people. To be honest, I haven't used Google in quite a while, so I wouldn't know. But at least when I'm using DuckDuckGo, I tend to find the information I'm looking for. Like, if it's available, I tend to find it most of the time. Like, here, what's one thing about modus you would like to see show up on search results? No, don't fuck AI. We can't risk DNA and code mixing together. The AI vibe codes, you know that? Oh, fuck you. My dong size is beyond your comprehension. There. You heard it here first, lads. New Year Protocol 11. Okay, you know what? I don't think I've ever looked this up. So let's go. Here we go. Well, okay. It finds the New Year Protocol series and the website's main landing page at that. So from there, you can go watch the full film. Okay. Okay. All right. It shows you the most recent one, NYP10. And then it shows you like an assortment of things. And then for some reason, Windows 11. Windows 11 tutorials. Wow. And then some like Turkish, like some Turkish truck video. And then NYP9 right next to that. How quaint. And then you get the NYP playlist on SoundCloud. Then you get, what is this? Finale in full film. I think this is the teaser. Yeah, teaser trailer. Okay. This is the Chime Patreon like special lecture I did for him back in 2023. I think that was. This is the old cover art for the New Year Protocol series as a whole. This used to be the official cover art for the ongoing New Year Protocol series. And then when I finished it, I changed it to this. So this is the actual final cover art for the NYP series. But before this, it was this. The protocol is actually looking pretty hot in there. You know? I saw this video a while back, and I think I'm gonna need to watch it again, cause man, this video was an acid trip. Windows 11? What is that? Never heard of it. Ubuntu user, by the way. Okay, so apparently this video was made by some Chinese fans. It's called Timon and Pumbaa, you know, from the Lion King. Rewind Modus the New Protocol series, a story-driven musical saga. Once Timon finishes his backstory, Ma, Uncle Max, Simba, Rafiki, and eventually many Disney characters join him and Pumbaa to rewatch Modus, the New Protocol series, a story-driven musical saga in the theater, in which Pumbaa tells Timon that he still does not do so well in crowds. Okay. Look, I really appreciate y'all's dedication, but I have to admit, this one, the concept is pretty strange.
It's over already?
Well, Pumba, that's the thing about endings. They come at the end.
Oh, can we
Wow. Factoids.
watch it again?
Pumba, we just saw it. Maybe tomorrow.
Hey, what are you guys doing? You didn't tell me you were watching the movie. I want to watch too.
Ma, we...
Okay, okay, that's actually kind of wholesome. We're watching a movie, and then it's the NYP film. Yup, sounds like acid trip, alright.
You're just gonna have to rewind it. Ma, Uncle Max, we're gonna watch the movie.
Oh, no. Hey, one extra butter.
Hey, you guys are watching the movie?
Yo, okay, flashing lights warning, okay?
Story worth telling is worth telling.
And the entirety of the Disney characters cast is watching the NYP series.
Crowd.
Damn. That's a concept and a half. This is just the plot of New York Protocol translated through an alpha version of Google Translate from 2011. And then
Watch it.
it's still going. The rewind is still going.
You win.
Sure you don't mind?
Hakuna Matata.
Ah, yes. Hakuna Matata Protocol. Wow. That was wild. This is just an actual Disney movie. New Year Protocol is a Disney movie now, alright? Yo uses Linux? Yes. And proudly so. I also would. But I tried. Well, I tried to install FL Studio onto Linux. It didn't work. I had one of these like one-click automated like bash install scripts, and first step, it crashes. So, yeah. Congrats, you're in the Marvel Cinematic Universe now. How do you feel? Marvelous. Wine exists. Yeah, but wine's just one part of the puzzle. You need to get the audio running. You need to get the audio routing properly working. you need to get plugins to work. So VST support, VST3 support, like all those things. And then each plugin is like its own world. No, I'm like, nah, I'm 99% sure this is from an actual Disney movie or animated short or whatever. No clue what though. YouTube, come at me. Have you heard of that new Linux bistro with B? Bistro. Like the restaurants? Bistro? So far, Linux only for drawing and for when I'm on the go, but yeah, still on Windows for heavy workloads. Yeah, pretty much. On the other Legion that I just showed you, I main Zorin, pretty much. And I do have a dual boot with Windows, but that's only for like things that like absolutely require Windows, you know. But I've even gamed on that thing. It's pretty good. We are getting closer to FL on Linux with VST3 going open source. VST3 is going open source? Damn. The closest I've seen, or like the most promising thing I saw, was this. Wine NSPA. I found this on GitHub. And it is a special build of Wine that is aimed at real-time and pro-audio-centric applications. And this absolute gigachad has Arch Linux, or Arch Linux, GIF, Arch Linux with Contact. This is Reactor, and a bunch of other really like fringe niche things. The dude's got Contact running on Arch Linux. That's insane. And with Ableton, by the way. This is yeah, it's more screenshots. He's got Ableton running on Arch Linux. Look at that. He's got Native Instruments battery on this thing. What the fuck? This is like a fever dream for me. I need this shit right now. I need this directly into my veins. But, yes, this is great. But it's not for the faint of heart. It requires an ungodly amount of setup. Okay? It requires enough setup that I wouldn't try this. And I'm a tinkerer, okay? If I see something that's worth setting, that's like worth going 200 like steps to set up, I probably will go to such lengths. Not this. Because, one, this is aimed at specifically Arch for now, and to unlock all of its features, it requires a custom Linux kernel. And there ain't no builds for that shit. So yes, you must build the Linux kernel from source. For this to work, you have to actually patch your kernel. So no, this is, I'm a tinkerer, but I don't think I'm ready to do this shit yet. Also, I would need Arch, and the distro I use, like Zorin, is not Arch based. So it's not happening. Excuse me, yes. This dude, and he's got it running with like super low DPC latency, like in the microseconds, right? In like under, this is around, yeah, 170 microseconds. Absolute max of 247 microseconds. That's insane, right? But yeah, dude. Is Zorin Debian based? Yes, it is. It is Debian based. The same commands that work on Ubuntu work on Zorin. Bro, I'm already struggling with installing programs on Ubuntu. There's no more Windows 10 support anymore as of recent. You can sign up for the extended security updates thing, and you get 1 more year of updates until, yeah, the emergency system updates, or like extended. I think This stands for extended. Okay, it says it right there. Extended security updates. And you get 1 more year until October 2026, and that's it. And you need to have some requirements. You need to be on Windows 10 22H2 with this update or newer installed. You have to be the administrator, and you have to enable these connection points, and you have to, you know, and you have to change some registry keys apparently. You have to run some commands, and you can. Oh boy, this is rather advanced. But yeah, it's just, you know. Have you heard of the Omarchy? Omarchy? By the way, it's distro with a D. I think it's a combination of Arch and Hyperland. I heard it. It's crazy easy to set up. Omarchy. Monarchy. Beautiful, modern, and opinionated. Okay. Linux. Okay. Yeah, it's basically Arch with Hyperland. Like, pre-set up. Right?
Umachi is a modern Linux distribution
Hello.
built on top of Arch Linux and
You look like you like using Hyperland as your main.
in time on any with the browser here. It's
Yeah, look at that.
altering at the same time, and really proud of it because it required this much.
So,
I'm running my
for my specific workflow,
beloved
I don't think Hyperland is for me.
name and last.
I am used to Windows, to like window-based systems, things. Okay,
Package to install
but yeah, this is
live. That's what I edit
this looks pretty good.
videos on. And as I said, you also have some.
It's just not for me. Not surprised that one random guy managed to make a better audio system than whatever the fuck Wasabi ASIO is, honestly. ASIO is pretty good. You just have to have the right hardware for it. Wasabi is the real culprit here. And like Windows audio subsystem and like all that shit. I demand doesn't mean it'll just stop working from one day to another. I mean, yeah. You can just install Arch, then install Hyperland. Yeah, but it's a few more steps, I think. I think autocorrect is changing distro to bistro. Yeah, so this is the one I have right now. I have Zorin 17. I think they just came out with Zorin OS 18. Like last week. But this is what I've got. This is what's running on the other laptop. I have it on dark mode, so it looks a little bit more like that. But yeah, it's pretty similar to Windows in like usability, but it's prettier. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Wow, that's sick. And it uses less RAM at it. It uses less RAM at that than Windows. Looks like a combination of Windows and Mac. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, and getting the right hardware is a complete unpredictable gamble. Yeah. To be honest, I would recommend getting an AMD GPU above an Intel one for pro audio. AMD has better efficiency at the moment. In fact, I wanted to get AMD CPU for my current laptop. It's just that the AMD model had not come out yet, and it wasn't going to come. And it wasn't going to come out until a few months after I had already bought the laptop, because apparently ASUS had bought exclusivity rights to using the AMD chip I wanted until September of that year, and it was around July, and I needed the laptop already because I had to start. I needed to be able to render NYP9 visuals faster, because if I didn't do that, I wasn't going to make the deadline of like January 2024, right? So for Legion Pro 7, this was basically the only option I had. And Windows is not great at the DPC latency stuff. I get some pretty bad spikes. But it's mostly the NVIDIA GPU driver. So here, I'll go to, I think it was called Latency Mon. This is basically a DPC latency checker. Okay. Let me see. Let's run this shit. Let's put it up on this screen, on this layout, okay? Window capture. No, I'll go for this. I'll go for latency mon. Whoop. Okay. I just need to adjust that a little bit. I just need to resize it maybe. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so this is a DPC latency checker. Okay. Ideally, I want to hit play on this. It's probably going to be worse than usual because I'm streaming. Look at that. It should hover around the 100 microseconds. It should be around here. And you just saw there are 3,800 microsecond peaks. And they're called by the graphics kernel and the NVIDIA GPU driver. So this is a DPC latency checker. This is basically the lower the better because you won't get any audio pops. Okay? So it should be around this range, around the 100 to 500 microsecond range. That's good. That means you probably won't be getting pops when you're working with audio, even when under load, right? So most of the time it works pretty all right, but there's the odd peak every so often, and it's always the graphics. It's the graphics driver. I turn off the NVIDIA GPU, this no longer happens. NVIDIA has some, it's and this has been widely documented, by the way. Like, there are tons of people on the NVIDIA forums that are complaining that, dude, the GPU driver is ass at this. Is really bad at managing audio DPC latency. It doesn't happen to everyone, but it happens to enough people that this should have been resolved by now. And this has been happening for years now. So it's kind of like that one SoundCloud bug where the... here we go. So you guys might remember that one SoundCloud bug where like the songs would all of a sudden disappear, you know? Here it goes. Okay, so here's No Limits, right? And after I browse around SoundCloud, after a while, the tracks will just like start disappearing from the playlist. They fixed it. No, they did not. Nightbot, please behave. That wasn't spam. So after a while, the tracks will just start to disappear. So let's say I hit play. Na, 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 copyright. Na, na, ba, ba. Yes, copyright on my own music, okay? So like, I'll go play that, and then I'll go play something else, my Snowblind remix, you know? And then I'll go play something else, like my ID showcase. Oh, yeah, cool. And then I'll go back, and after a while, the tracks will start to disappear. And then you just have to do a full reload. And this has been happening for... shut up. And this has been happening for at least a year. A year. And they haven't fixed it. The year was 2024, and I was already having this issue. So, yeah. So I ended up using an old obscure program from a guy who died, so his brother released the software for free. I've tried every single fucking ASIO driver I could find on my PC, and they all had different results. And that itself was different per system. I tested them all on, so I ended up using an old obscure program from a guy. What's the name of the program? Because I found a couple of alternative ASIO drivers, and I tried to use them. They didn't change the story much. I was still getting pops from time to time. So it's at its worst with Wasapi, obviously. With ASIO, it's a lot better. So right now I'm using Sonarworks on system-wide. So, you know, for like my speaker calibration, I use Sonarworks system-wide. Okay, and I just have this. And I have it set to, actually, Windows Insert APO. Okay, that one is a little bit better. But if you use Wasabi, this will pop like crazy. Okay. And yeah, it's just... I also tried using a couple of ASIO drivers, and they didn't really change the story much. I was still getting pops. And on FL Studio, I had a different issue, and that was that the UI would just randomly freeze after performing an action, like one out of every 200 times, like a 1 in 200 chance crash on average. So you have actually seen this on some Tuesday streams. I've been doing something, and then all of a sudden the UI just freezes and it crashes, and I have to close the project, right? And I have to force quit FL. Actually, I found a way to mitigate that, and that's to change the ASIO driver from FL Studio ASIO to the Cubase ASIO driver that comes with old versions of Cubase called, I think it was ASIO Generic Lower Latency Driver. ASIO Generic Lower Latency Driver. This comes with, yeah, this thing. Generic Low Latency ASIO Driver. This comes with old versions of Cubase. The newest versions of Cubase now come with this thing called Steinberg built-in ASIO driver, which is like a new version of that. But this, there are a few installers for this on the internet. If you know where to look, that, or you can just get the Cubase trial installer from Steinberg's website, and you can get this installer as well if you download like the older version of Cubase, right? So this comes with Cubase, and apparently this one's more stable than FL ASIO. So that's the driver I've been using. Sonics, now that is the Linux user experience. I had to write a script to automatically reroute my system audio through that program whenever I open my eDrum software. Yeah, that's true Linux shit. Core audio is literally the selling point of Macs for audio. It's really good. I will say, yeah, Macs are some of the best when it comes to pro audio, when it comes to latency. Like, studios use Mac for recording for a reason. You know, they have really good, they handle low latency audio really, really well. You can have 16 sample buffer size. For comparison, when I produce at 1900 samples of buffer size. Macs can record on studios with 16 samples. That's like near real time, right? And you will be hard pressed to find a pop. I have to admit that. Windows is horrible at audio, at least right now. Without ASIO, it's hot garbage. Windows really needs to rework the fundamental principle of their audio subsystem. I'm having the Linux user experience on Windows. The beauty of Apple products is that they're all practically the same, so software vendors can test specifically for the hardware is fully predictable. Yeah, no, it's not the first time I've considered getting a Mac in the future. It's just I really hate the user experience of the OS itself. It's just, man. Like, Mac really hates power users. It's just, man. Like, the amount of customization, the amount of customization that I have on Windows is just not possible with Mac. At least not with like 1,000 extensions. I had to install an extension to get window snapping. That alone was just, what? Why? you know? And so the problem with macOS is that it makes too many choices for you, in my opinion, right? It makes more choices for me than I would like. So I have to spend some extra time customizing the OS and like unlocking things so it'll let me fucking touch the thing, you know? Probably because I only have like 16 gigs of RAM and my hard drive fills up really quickly because of downloading samples. You don't need that extension anymore, but do they have the same level of window snapping they have on Windows? Or is it just like two windows side by side? Because last I saw, yes, they finally added window snapping, but it was like the Windows 7 version of it, which was like two windows side by side and like that's it. Have they improved it since? Because the window snapping on Windows is really good. So, yeah. Why do we always end up talking about the same shit? Every time we talk about like nerd tech talk, we always end up on Windows versus Mac, AI rant. It's the same old shit. Brother what? Real tech, not Rick tech. Ah, yes, I've had my share of experiences with Realtek related audio chips. Downloading the bare bones driver, the .inf file from some obscure website that houses individual Windows updates, and then from there you can extract the cat file that has a .inf file for the specific audio chip you're trying to install into an unsupported version of Windows. So yeah. All roads lead to Rome, brother in Christ. What did he mean by this? Realtek really is the Chinesiest company of all time. Are they really though? So, back in the day, I had this really long troubleshooting adventure. I was trying to find a driver. I believe it was for some obscure. So right now, if you have any Realtek device, chances are it uses the Realtek high definition audio driver, like that. This is the driver that Realtek is most commonly known for. Realtek high definition audio. This is what most computers will use. But I have a tower that I was trying to install Windows 7 on. Windows 7 32 bits, mind you, because it had a Pentium 4. Okay, so like bear with it. That the motherboard had this really obscure chip. I believe it was called the ALC 887 or something like that. Like 878 or something? No. 887. I think is this, right? And Realtek is really fishy about this. Oh my god, they finally changed the website for this. They used to have like a website that ran on like a 640 by 480 window up here. And it was and the bottom of the website said best viewed on Windows XP. They finally updated it. So, as you can see, only the high definition audio codecs are for Windows 10 and Windows 11 and Windows 2000 and even Linux. Look at that. It only supports kernel version under 3.18. Well, there goes that. But the ALC 887, I think it was this one. Okay. So I'm not sure, but yeah. I could not, for the life of me, find this for Windows 7. It was only up to Windows XP, and I needed to find a Windows 7 version of that driver, and Realtek did not have it. But apparently it was compatible in some way. Like, the Windows XP driver was compatible in some way. So if you were to install the individual driver through the .inf file, so if you were, if you skipped the .exe installer, you would be able to install the Windows XP driver. You would be able to force it onto Windows 7. Okay? So if you ran the setup normally, it would tell you you are not a Windows XP. This is not a compatible. This is not a compatible version of Windows. We can't install this on your system. But you actually could install it if you bypassed the installer and you went directly to the .inf and the .cat files and you installed them from there, right? And I had to find the extracted drivers from the installer because the installer was all like one bundle. All right. So what I ended up doing is I installed the drivers, I believe. Don't quote me on this. I might just, my brain might just be making this up, but I believe I made a Windows XP VM and I installed the Realtek drivers there so I could see the drivers on the System32 folder, which I then copied over to Windows 7. If that story is true, which don't quote me on that precisely, but if it is true, it's wild. We need new adventures. Spam Adventures is low-key dead. We're not getting worthy spam emails for Spam Adventures. What am I gonna do? Invent the next Spam Adventures? These are the spam emails back in the day were so good. You can't make that shit up. Nowadays all I get is AI generated slop spam. It just isn't funny anymore. It just isn't fun anymore. How about you become the spammer? What kind of sick joke is that? This is the kind of spam email that I get nowadays. I'm gonna make a screenshot. Okay. Because information. Because sensitive details and shit. Oh, I have to make this. There we go. The subject is Ghost. Hello. I found your details on Google and reviewed. Can I scroll this around? No? Yeah? Okay. I found your details on Google and reviewed your website. It can help bring your website to Google's first page. May I send you an SEO price list if you're interested? Thank you, Sonilla. That's the type of email I get now. And you reply and they won't get back because obviously they want you to click on whatever link. It's all just, here's how you can buy SEO promos to be the most searched thing on the internet. Like, it's just boring. Spam emails have become the most boring shit. By the way, here is one that is straight up egregious. This one, by the way, Google is actually telling me is dangerous. But I believe this is important to show, okay? Okay. What about Instagram DMs? I don't get spam in there anymore that's worthy. It's just we help you with to get new followers on Spotify for free, and then it's not free. You have to pay some amount, and then you have to basically sell your soul to the devil to them, and like it's just not fun anymore. I may or may not have doodled you. Surprise me. Live fan art reveal. Okay, I'll show you the this scam email from people that are pretending to be Wix. Okay? This arrived at my email on October 4th, so early this month. This arrived at my email. And right out of the bat, you can see Google is actually warning me this message might be dangerous, and it is. Messages like this were used to steal personal information. Don't click links, download attachments, or reply with personal... I can't, right? Or reply with personal information. Okay, so right off the bat, they say they're Wix, but if you look at the email, well, that's an immediate red flag. That alone should be enough to know that this is spam. But let's keep going. They know that my domain is registered with Wix. Then again, pretty sure this information is public. iamod.us is a domain that I have registered with Wix, and I use Wix to build that website. Okay. Dear customer, this is a friendly reminder. I can't wait for the hostile reminder that your domain iamod.us is set to expire on 5th October 2025. October with a lowercase o, by the way. Please renew before the expiration date to avoid disruption to your website and email services. You can renew your service here. Never, ever, 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 ever click this link. Okay? Please note that failing to renew by the expiry date may result in loss of access to mailboxes, databases, and associated data. So here they're trying to threaten you by going and just, you're going to lose all of your data if you don't pay us, right? So, I don't know. I think this is in US format date, so it would spell as October 4th. But I read this and went this can't be the 10th of April. This invoice number, they just completely made that up. There is nothing that's just, they completely made that up. The amount due is not this, okay? And the status unpaid, of course. Regards, Wix support team. For some reason, they add Wix with lowercase on the footer here. 123 Innovation Drive, Tech City. Holy shit! These guys live in the fucking future. I can't wait to visit the Tech City. Oh my god. And 123 Innovation Drive, that is obviously probably AI generated. Yes, they live in the Tech City. Holy smokes. These guys, that should be enough to tell you, dude, these are the real fucking deal. But so much of pings at server 1,725,732.netart.com. No, just this is how you know they mean business. They live in Tech City. So yeah, anyway, please do not, for the life of you, ever click those links. Okay? So yeah. Wix, by the way, auto renews your subscription to the domain until you cancel it. Okay, so I have it set to auto renew, so I'm never going to get emails of Wix reminding me to pay for that. Okay, so yeah, just so you know, that is not going to happen, boys. I almost misread that as diddled. Yes, they live in Tech City, but you can click the R channel on your Discord server. There's definitely no info hazard there. Okay, we are going to react to this together. Okay, we are in the lobby channel, so let's hop on over to my Discord. By the way, I switched to Vesktop. It's basically a version of Discord that has telemetry patches, so it's not phoning home, and it has Vencord built in. That's pretty good, and it's more lightweight, and it loads faster, and it uses less RAM. Pretty good. Vesktop. Okay, so Vesktop This is my server. Okay. Telemetry mentioned? Yes. Telemetry by convexity, new tune. Go stream it. Lower your expectations. Okay. I shall lower my expectations. Here we go. Wow. I have no neck. The neck is the neck is just non-existent. I'm just a head attached to a huge body, but I would like to believe my head is a little bit bigger. Okay, just no hard feelings. Thank you so much for the fan art. Okay, because I have to stay honest. I need to stay honest. Bro, look at your VOD. You have no neck. I do have a neck. It's just, it's not visible from my point of view because the camera is pointing straight down at me. It's not like, it's not straight. It's angled down, so you wouldn't see my precious neck. What happened to my nose? It just it became like completely parallel. This is the By the way, my eyes are hazel. They're not brown. So if you zoom in enough, okay, you zoom in enough and you shine a light to my eyes, this won't be painful or anything. See? It's not brown. It's like this like dark green hazel thing. I need to practice nose. This might be a bit more visible. It's like not completely brown. It like from a distance it looks brown, but it's not brown. When you look at it like, and especially in real life, it's not brown. It's hazel. Go the anime route and draw a dot for the nose. Yeah, bro. Okay, good to know you have a small shade of green. What do you mean good to know? It's just... You were gonna eye color shame me? I'm shocked by your light tolerance and no photophobia. Dude, this is like the weakest... the weakest phone flashlight of all time. This is like less than half the intensity of the iPhone's flashlight. This is like a filler flashlight. So this is not a flashlight. This is a photography flash. So it's like a very soft fill light. It's not a very powerful focused beam like on the iPhones. This is meant for photography, not for flashlights. So this is not nearly as intense, you know? But I can shine something really intense at me, and that'll be painful. Well, what do we got here? It's the lightsaber of blindness. Look at that. Look at the shadows on my mic. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's just and just, yeah. Don't do it. Don't worry, I can take it. My eyes can take it. I do it for the content. See? As long as I don't look like like directly at it, it's okay. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. There you go. Hazel. Give me a second. Oh, that feels like I just stepped on a Lego. Oh, I stepped on the stand for the other laptop. It feels exactly like when you step on a Lego. Ooh. So yeah, the neck. And maybe the head should be a little bit bigger, but... Pablo. My flashlight is like 3 times the brightness of that. Sodas. I promise I'll get the proportions right next time. Yeah, bro. Your proportions fucking suck! Okay, seeing you on the pic side by side. Yeah, I should have made the head bigger. By the way, I'm not that, like, I'm fake. Okay? But I'm not that fake. I'm alright. Like, or at least I don't know. It's just... Do I look? No, it's not. Look pretty alright. No. It's not the most terrible thing. Yeah, your proportions fucking suck. But that means they can get better. Okay. That's enough of, like, art shaming Yobio. Oh fuck, I messed the proportions way up. Don't worry. You can fix them. You thought I was thick. Fake as fuck. Time to throw my stylus away. Yeah, bro, you fucking suck. Okay. That works. You think this is gonna be the last doodle of you? What, you're gonna have an obsession with, like, doodling Paul? You're gonna skip streams because you're gonna doodle me. Oh my gosh, my throat needs water. I've been talking too much. Check meme. Oh wow. So unbelievably funny. I'm dying from the laughter. Wow. Such meme. Wow. The only way to improve drawing is to draw a lot. I disagree with that. And I have the receipts. Because no matter how many years of comics I drew, always the same shit. It never got better. Look at this. I need to find an actual comic. There we go. What's this? Okay. They're actually starting to, like, fade a little bit, but this was one of the later ones. They don't even got noses. So this was back when I used to draw comics in school and then high school. Because I was just bored. And I often had time to kill, like after exams and all that. I just started doodling. I got quite a few done. I got many books, like you just saw there. Holy shit, the lore grows. It takes like 1,000,000 years to master art. Don't worry, I never mastered it. Okay, here is the most recent one. This was like first year of higher studies at high school. This is 2017, I think. This was the last year I drew doodles at high school. Something like that. I spent more time, but they still had no noses. Look at that. It's always the same shit. They never got better than this. This was the peak. This was the peak. This was it. Look at that. They still don't have noses. Look at that spaceship. If that's not the most square spaceship you ever seen. Oh my god. Oh my days. Yeah, no. They never had noses. This is later in the comic, by the way. They never... Look at this boy. Oh, shit. Okay. There are some other ones that are pretty cool. But they still had no noses! They still had no fucking noses! And these are like mecha, like robots. Yeah, okay, these ones were actually pretty good. Like for the time, anyway. I spent way too long on these ones. I spent like actual weeks of school time drawing those. Yeah, man. And that's it. That's the end of the drawings, I think. Oh no, there's one more. Okay, this was my last complete drawing done at high school. This one. The garden. That was the last one I did. Yeah, that's it. Well, it never got better than that. That was my peak. Here's another one. Here's the green one. By the way, they're all fucking destroyed. They're all destroyed. But hey. Oh shit. This one's so much worse. These have stickmen. These are all just stickmen. Look at that. Oh no, it's broken. I have to like be very careful with this. Yeah, it was just stickmen. There you go. I will check out. Just give me a minute. I'm revisiting all this shit. Whoa! There's some sort of like weird ninja like wall jumping off of the wall jumping and then attacking this dude. Oh boy. This is insane. It's all of it is stickmen. There's stickmen everywhere. I think that's it. Yeah. Well. It's a lot of drawings. It's many years of drawing. I think it's like 6 to 7 years of drawing. The first time, this is actually a teacher gave me the idea to start doodling in class. That sounds very weird, but it's true. A teacher saw that I was getting bored because like they would assign like tasks. They would assign like homework to do in class, like classwork, right? And they would assign like exercises to do, and I would be finished with them pretty quickly. And I would just be sitting around waiting for everyone else to finish, right? And then a teacher noticed that, and she gave me my first, or she told me, she suggested that I buy this thing called the Moleskine. which is just this, like, notebook. Oh my god. Oh boy. Look at this. This is December 20th, 2011. Look at that. Do you guys want to see 2011 modus? It's got a picture. This is the very first page I wrote of this thing. Look at that. Look at that boy. This is dated December 20th, 2011. So this was the first time I started doodling. So there you go. These are some of the first there you go. Some of the first comics I ever drew. 2011. Look at that. And some of them are drawn on pen, not pencil for some reason. Some of them are pen. You know? Like that. Mini modus is right. So this was the very first one. She recommended that I buy this. So back then they had like guides. So you can see the notebook has like guides. So it's not a like fully blank notebook. And then I started getting the blank ones. And in total, I failed 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's bigger than the others, by the way. 5. And the last one was this one, 6. The orange one is the 6th and last one. This is 6 to 7 years of school free time doodling. This is how I used to spend my free time. Maybe I should get back to doodling in my free time, who knows? And these are saved here like museum style in temperature controlled conditions, so the pencil doesn't fade as quickly. So yeah. So sketching with pen is actually a very great way to improve. Mini modus was out of the game. Is it? Oh, I forgot this page. Where's this? Oh. These are chemistry exercises? Chemistry exercises. Or physics. Oh, it's physics and chemistry. What? I just found some like drafts from my physics and chemistry stuff. Look at that. Insane. There's probably so much I have to look through to find all these hidden gems. Okay, let's go back to the art channel. Let's see what you guys have cooked up. I love chemistry so much. I didn't like the calculation aspect of it. Like the find out how much quantity, like how many moles of this thing has reacted with that, and then you had to do a bunch of like really like complex calculations, and just I hated that part. So I liked physics a little bit more. Okay, here goes. This is Old Opal. Okay. So this has to be your previous like orb. Yeah. So your PFP on YouTube, but it's scarred for life. It has seen some true horrors. 99% of my sketchbook sketches are in pen. Look at that. So first, it's in Kirby mode, and then it loses its limbs and starts crying because it just lost its limbs, and then it sees some abhorrent thing and gets scarred for life. Great storytelling. Sad blob. This has to be a sticker. This has to be a sticker. Moles isn't a real unit. It's just a coefficient. Changed my mind. I don't... After... I studied... What was it? I studied 2 years of chemistry in high school. And I never really did understand. So, moles are like a unit of quantity of substance, of like quantity of molecules, right? So a mole always has the same amount of atoms of that element, but a mole of two substances can weigh different things, can weigh different amounts, right? One mole is exactly some amount of atoms. Okay, so I got it right. So it's the same amount of atoms of two elements, but that also means since each element has a different weight, has a different atomic number, they can weigh differently. 6.0. Here, it's all coming back. 6,02 elevado, 6,02 por 10 elevado a 23. So that's just basically 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. We say it like 6,02 por 10 elevado a 23. Right? Just every time that came up. Avogadro's number. Yep. El número de Avogadro. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no, it's all coming back. Help. I don't want to get drawn into... I don't want this to turn into a chemistry lesson. I had enough in high school. I was not entertained. 6,02 por 10 elevado a 23. And that got stuck in the air. And so right now, until you brought up that number, it has been stuck in the like deep memory pool, in the things I didn't know I remembered category. So like Inside Out, the movie, right? The pool where the memories are like turned off. What is it? The memory pit? Memory dump. Okay. Yeah, this. You know? the place that like housed all these memories. but they're all like faint and they don't have light. You know? Avogadro's number was somewhere in there, and then you just plucked it right up, right out of the memory dump. You know, you plucked it up from here, and it came back to the surface. I'm a nerd. I love chemistry so much. It's my favorite subject like ever. Yeah, for me, my favorite school subject was probably physics. Just. For chemistry, I never really was a fan of the math aspect of it, like formulas and like calculating amounts of substances, and that never really entertained me. Chemistry, you mean applied physics? Shut up, fellow physics chat. No, it's just the amount of physics I learned is probably like the, you know, fundamentals. So I learned electromagnetism, optics, a little bit of quantum stuff. But my favorite subject was shout out to me because Paul skipped me when reacting to art. No, but we saw it, all right? It was up on the screen. We saw some art of that dragon. Nice. What was I saying? Physics. Favorite part of physics was obviously when we did sound stuff like waves, right? Waves, just any type of waves. That includes sound waves, like propagation of waves and all that. That was especially interesting for me because now is, you know, the like Huygens principle and like all that, like reflection, diffraction, all that has been very important for music production terms, understanding how reverb works in a room and like all that, you know. Physics was fine, but the calculations, man, they ruined my entire career. I can I can recall a couple times where the calculations have driven me nuts. But like as a whole, when you considered all of the when you considered like all of the things I went through as a teenager through high school, physics was probably the one thing I could say, oh, this was interesting to me and has actually held value after high school. Like, it's the one thing I'm still using some bits of, you know, some concepts of. I use physics all the time I interact with physics all of the time when doing music production. I didn't have proper chemistry and physics in 8th grade only because before I switched school, there were people who didn't go to these classes at all, so we had to start over in 8th grade. So here we have a fixed curriculum. So no matter which high school you go to, the subjects are all the same, and they're all being offered to at least one group of alumni. Right? So our classes tend to be around 25 to 40 people per class, right? Like per group. So a group of students in one classroom might be around 25 to 40 people, and that's already really stretching it, right? 40 is like extreme maximum. It tends to be like the average is around 20 to 30, 35 people, right? The classes that I've been in have ranged from 25 to 35 people. I think in the US it was much higher. Like you could have like 100 students in a class or something, or like classrooms were like much bigger or had more people. That might be a notion that you're about to disabuse me of, but I don't know. So, thing is, high schools, they each were each a different size, but the groups stayed pretty much the same size. So if there were more students on that high school because they had more space, there were multiple groups. So you had, let's say you could have 8th grade A, 8th grade B, 8th grade C, and so on, and they would all be 8th grade. They were just their own student group, and they each had their classrooms and all that, and we never really merged, right? So 8th grade A, 8th grade B, 8th grade C. We had, at one point, I was in the J group. Yes, the letter J. There were like 10, 11 groups of 30 people in the same high school for the same level of education. J. Yes, J. I was first of bachillerato, J. Your class... No, it wasn't that our class was big. It was just that there were so many students for that line of study, for that level, that they had to split it into very many groups, right? Into like 10, 11 groups. So our group was like 30, 32 people, I think it was, right? 32, 33 people it might have been, but that's a bit of a fuzz. So yeah, like J was like 33, like yeah, yes, just say 33 students, right? But man. So yeah, what I meant to say with that is you could move to a different high school every single year and you will be studying pretty much the same thing. We have like a fixed set of things that goes for every high school. So if you choose the science line of study, you're going to have the same experience on every high school, save for the teachers and like how they teach, right? But like the curriculum is pretty much the same every time. Maybe the books also might change, like what type of books, what the book editor will be, because that might be different. Like they might like a certain like math book better, right? So yeah. but the list of things that we had to learn in general was all the same. So you could have a very similar experience if you change high schools. So I changed high schools when I finished my 4 years of like the lower level, like the obligatory high school, and then there's like the 2 years of higher studies that go toward the university. On that transition, I switched high schools, and it was pretty seamless because I knew the exact same set of things that the other students had, so it was pretty much just a seamless switch. Gotta explain this again. Well, it sure looks like a dragon to me. If it's not a dragon, then don't draw it like a dragon. You know? No, it's like some sort of like bird creature or something. But it sure looks like a dragon. It looks like the Rito people in Zelda. Like the birds, you know? Why is its eyes on one side of the head? That's an amorphous being. Probably by design. Why not? I'm out, guys. See you later. Bye, Mystical. Enjoy. See you tomorrow in feedback, maybe? It has 4 eyes. But mine has 5 eyes, so clearly mine is better. That's kind of a cool concept. None of your characters have eyes, Paul. The humans do. It's just the model. The protocol has no eyes. The creator... You could argue the creator is an eye. Although you could argue many things for what the creator is. But... yeah, let's go to the New Protocol website, okay? It's just... Look at the characters, okay? So the humans, obviously, they're humans, so it's not very visible, but they have eyes. A fucking cube. Some rings with a no limits diamond in the center, and then, yeah. You could argue this is an eye. But then again, you could argue many things for this. Actually, it can have an arbitrary amount of eyes. It just chooses to have 4. Oh my god. Every single cell in my body can turn into an eye. Watch out. Get it? Because watch, eye. You need to keep a watchful eye on that shit. We may not see eye to eye, but... What would you guys say this is? What would you guys say based on this picture alone that the creator is? Based on the sole picture. Or maybe, okay. Let's just go for the full creator model, okay? Full creator model. NYP9. Okay. So it's like a rotating sphere with some features and then a couple like rhomboids in there. And the creator part of the battle here you go. So based on this depiction, what would you say the creator is? Look up Dante's depiction of God from Dante's Paradise. Depiction of Goff. Ah, yes, Goff. Paradiso. Right? No. Dante Paradise. It looks like some portal or weapon. Okay. The weapon part I can get behind. It's like a weaponized being. A being designed to be a weapon of balance. Okay, that I can get behind. So, you know, it's just this thing that can rotate its rhomboids at different speeds, and it can open them up, and it can like close them down as they're rotating, kind of like a, you know, and then it can shoot. It could shoot lightning from its eye, and it can shoot the protocol out into fucking space. It looks like the paradise itself with a spiral center. So is it this one? Dante's version of the circles of heaven. I guess you mean this? I genuinely thought you referenced Dante for a while until I realized you're a random music producer. Yeah, okay. For the Gatekeeper, I did have one main inspiration, and that was obviously the biblically accurate angels. Obviously. Well, the one with the rings, I think it was called the Ophanim? Ophanim? Yeah. That was the like main basis for the Gatekeeper. Minus the eye. And then for the creator, it's literally just like two separate models, or like a combination of like three random models like stuck together. The eye here is one thing. The little like arcs on the outside are a different model, I think. So this is like just some sort of like model I found on like Sketchfab or something. And then the rhomboids were a different model, and I was able to like split them up and like make them smaller. I don't know. It's just like two models hacked together, basically. And it looked weird, and that fit the bill for the creator, because it's just this thing that you see it and you can't possibly describe what it is, and that fits the bill for the creator. It's just this being you can't even begin to comprehend, because it's the universal entity that created the entire universe you're now living in, right? Subliminal plushie. When I've already talked about why we can't have plushies. It looks like the paradise itself with a spiral center. I read that already. The resemblance is uncanny. 9 circles. Geometry Dash reference? Oh my god. You keep finding ways to reference everything back to Geometry Dash. Skill issue. I can comprehend that just fine. Skill issue. Subliminal blue? What did he mean by this? Well, I believe we have reached the end, you and I. I just couldn't stop talking today. Guys, tomorrow, aka 1 minute from now where I live, will be Saturday, October 25th, 2025, and at 7 p.m. Central European Summer Time, because our daylight savings ends on Sunday, ends the next day, right? Or like that in the early morning hours of Sunday, so a few hours after the Saturday stream has ended, right? Tomorrow will be our final stream with daylight savings, aka at 7 p.m. Central European Summer Time for the last time this year. We'll be doing feedback again, 3 hours. Submissions, as many as we can fit into that stream. Destroying your songs with facts and logic. Be there. Don't miss it. We got precious feedback for you. Yeah, I hope to see you all there. What artillery did the Subliminal have for scientific reasons? It didn't have artillery. The thing about the Subliminal was it was able to travel faster than light. That was it. It didn't have any weapons. The weapon was the humans in a way. Because, like, it was the humans that held the power to defeat the protocol in the end, right? You don't use weapons against a universal entity of godly proportions. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to use... just throw a missile into the humongous cube that ended our civilization. How did the humans fit in the ship? Maybe they did not fit in the ship. Maybe they fused with the ship or something. That is never explained. I never bothered to explain that because you didn't need to know. I guess it's just up to you to interpret. I never bothered to to come up with the reason. It just happens. And you will be happy. Did they have spinal issues during the final battle? They had so considering the model of the humans is supposed to make up for all of the surviving humans of the human, so the model you see in NYP is so the humans is all of the surviving humans from the civilization, all plucked up into one entity, right? That one entity makes up all of the surviving humans from the civilization. So I guess it would be multiple spinal issues in that case. Spaceship with no weapons means bye-bye to pirates. The weapons in my writing would match the protocol. Yeah, but it's just... the way I had it written, it wasn't just writing artillery into the thing. I don't know. Yeah, the NYP story was more about the philosophical meaning and connotation of the whole thing. It wasn't really about just purely the war, right? Yeah, it was more about the concepts and the topics that were being touched upon in the stories, like faith, love, being able to let go of your selfishness and facing a threat that is greater than you, and learn to, be less selfish. The humans have scoliosis confirmed. Finally, representation. How many humans? Never cared to know. Never cared to explain. So maybe it's 3, maybe it's 3,000. I don't know. Those who survive, however many you believe that is. I purposely did not explain or did not care to explain many aspects of the story because they weren't really necessary for the development of the plot I had in mind. So how many humans survived, that's not really necessary, right? So yeah, it's just you interpret that. You make your own interpretation. And that's what I think is really cool about the NYP series, is you get to make in a way, within the same core plot, you get to make up a lot of the smaller details in your mind. It's very up for interpretation on some of those smaller details. I imagine the year was around 2100 to 2300. No. No. If it was so close into the future, I don't know. This is far into the future. Okay? Innumerable years from now. It's just for something. When we become a type 3 civilization or something, I don't know. I never cared to put to pin down the exact year on it either. It's just at some point of the universe, some human civilization, because it's just not needed for the plot to take place. You don't need to know exactly what year the story takes place in. All I'm saying is that going way faster than light would make you go way into the past. But hey, my world, my rules. So it would have to be really far into the future. Propelled long ago in a galaxy far away, pretty much. Yeah. You could argue that the story takes place very far into the future, so when you travel faster than light, you go into the past, and then the survivors are actually us. Reincarnated on planet Earth. You could make that argument. I don't know. I just put that out there. The story takes place very far into the future, and then when the humans like are done with all their... So maybe we are living in the realm beyond and we just don't know it. Maybe we are the descendants of the humans who fought against the protocol and created the realm beyond, and we are living in the universe of the realm beyond, and we have been reincarnated. I don't know. If that's the version you want to believe, all good. It's just, I'm not explaining that because I don't need to. Maybe the realm beyond was all founded by AI. Oh, shut up. So yeah, it's just the really cool thing about NYP is you get to make up your own headcanons when it comes to the smaller details. Oh god, Johnson, we were just about to log off. But hey, better late than never. So, yeah. No bullshit though. Have you ever taken a look at a Minkowski diagram? Minkowski diagram? I believe I may have. No, I think I'm thinking about the Penrose diagram. I'm thinking about this. This is what I recently saw in like a Veritasium video. You know, it's like the possibility that we can cross into other universes into like other times using the singularities of black holes. Oh, it says Minkowski here. Maybe this is what you're talking about. It's just like a different way to visualize it. So, yeah, it's just the idea that a spinning black hole could take you into... could, like, make you travel through time and end up in a different timeline. And the idea that there are different types of infinities, and the event horizon is like in a different time or something like that. Oh yeah, and then the idea that it can take you to a parallel universe. It's real trap shit. Anyway, it's past midnight. It is not time for me to be looking at Penrose diagrams. My brain is fried. I think I'm gonna go play a little bit of Pokemon Legends ZA, and then I'm done for the day. I had a very long week. I had a very rough week. Like when it comes to like personal life. Thankfully, that's all over, and I get to move on from that and see if I can build up my consistency to people that I've been collabing with, and I've just been delaying my work, like my part of the job. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I don't want to be delaying that shit as long as I have, because like that's just not who I am. I don't like I don't like when I'm the weak link in the chain. Okay, I don't like being the weak link. I like to just be there and get it done and hand it over to you as soon as possible. But that just hasn't been possible the past few weeks. So to those of you who I'm collabing with that I have not been able to deliver in time, I'm sorry. But hopefully I can get back into it. What in Chime call that went? Not a priority. Just think about it when like Chime right now is on his own like UK thing, and I'm writing post MYP and just we're not on it yet. So yeah, it'll happen when it needs to happen and no sooner. Anyway, guys, I've been Paul, aka Modus. Have a great rest of your night. I shall see you in feedback hour tomorrow with some destroying with facts and logic stones. And yeah, as always, until next time. Remember, guys, my name is not Paul. My name is AKA Modus, okay? AKA Modus. Say